Somebody commented and said, una hakika hizo kucha zinamtukuza Bwana? Na nikaona uko na point. So nikaenda nikazibadilisha. I hope hizi zinamtukuza sasa. I'm sorry. Get a chair. Let's talk. 5 men are imprisoned in a cave, and they are imprisoned from birth, and they're imprisoned facing the wall of the cave. Behind them is a fire, and every day the guards or whoever it is passes between these people and the fire. So all these 5 men know are the shadows that they see cast on the wall of the cave as these people are passing. And one day, one of the men succeeds in setting himself free. He goes outside, he sees the sun, and he sees the world for what it is. He comes back and he tells his friends, and his friends refuse to believe him. They actually mock him and whatnot, because all they know and all they believe is all they've ever seen. That is the shadows on the wall. This is Plato's allegory of the cave, and it's going to be part of our discussion as we talk about confabulation, the matrix, and rebellion. Episode 1840, Rebellion in a Name.
You said your name, Mary, deals with rebellion.
Yes.
Just explain that, because this the amount of rebellion times you're rebelling in this narrative of yours, I want to understand, because we only know rebellion from a negative perspective.
Yeah.
Can rebellion then be positive? And explain.
Confabulation is what happens when the brain fills the gaps of knowledge for itself with unconfirmed or inaccurate truths. This is because the human brain is always in need of certainty. So instead of a person waiting to confirm the truths, we naturally make up a scenario for ourselves so that there are no gaps in our heads. We are so uncomfortable with not knowing. A good example is if someone is a CEO, wears a good black suit and gives a TED talk, we naturally assume, first of all, that this person is successful, that this person is intelligent and whatnot. But all we know is that he's a CEO and he's giving a TED talk and he's well dressed. This is why PR is a thing, because it's easy to manipulate the public opinion and public emotions by showing them certain aspects of truth. The other side of confabulation is when people are put in consistent fear of something they don't know. This is what keeps people bound to the matrix. People are so afraid to explore what they do not know, because the little information they've been given about that uncharted territory, they build another whole world around it, and for that reason they never leave the matrix. A good example is in the Pilgrim's Progress. The reason why there were not many people leaving the City of Destruction was because the residents of the City of Destruction were told that nobody leaves the City of Destruction and survives. And for that reason, they were staying in this place that was perpetually harmful to them, because they were afraid of passing a certain threshold, because they don't know what lies beyond them, but they are willing to trust their oppressors.
The rebellion that I'm speaking about is the one that comes and goes against the systems, the cultures, and the way people have always done things. There was a Mary who came, and at a young age she became pregnant without a man. That was rebellion, because normally people get pregnant with and a man is involved. So that was a form of rebellion. So as I got this name, I didn't realize that's what the name carries, and much more. So it started with, these systems and cultures and things, ways of life that men have said, we have to sit facing this way. I just come and I face this way and it works. People are not taught how to think differently, or to be entrepreneurial, or to be disruptive. So those are the things that I have come and I've seen my life now coming to disrupt.
It's hot. When swimming, I have never, ever, ever stepped into the deep end. And the information I had about the deep end was the fact that it was deep. So what are the truths that I told myself? The deep end equals death. The fact that I can't stand in that place, people die there. And I would be in pools and we'd all be crowded in one corner of the pool on the shallow end together with the children fighting for our lives. And then there are like 3 people in the deep end living the life of their dreams. We're just looking at them like, must be nice, but catch me dead, literally. So one day, this lady, in the pool you just make friends. This lady tells me, so let's go to the deep end. I'm like, how dare you? Because do you hate your life? She's like, no, we'll just go holding the bars. And I was like, hey, better these bars go around the pool. I've never thought of that, but I was still afraid. Regardless, we went with her around the pool. And when I got there, and I was like, it's just water. I'd never stepped into that before. It's just water. But then I was like, I float here better, and there are like 3 lifeguards, and there are like 2 pro swimmers, what. So I'm like, okay guys, let me just try to float. If anything happens, save me. make sure you save me. And I did it. And I floated on my back, and I floated from the deep end to the shallow end. I felt so accomplished until one day I ran out of breath midway. And I inhaled a lot of water and had to stand. And when I start, it's not a deep pool, it's 6 feet. So I can lift up my hands and then people can see from my wrist. So I stood up, I lifted up my hands, and then within seconds, a swimmer saved me. Not even the lifeguard. A swimmer saved me. And I remember, because of that, I avoided the pool for a good 5 weeks. Recently, I went back there with a different mindset. I realized that there's no way I can master something I can't trust. I'm not going to master this water if I don't trust it. The same way, I went around, and actually this time I brought someone new, exposure. I'm Katwamshane. So somebody who'd never experienced the deep end before. The new excuse I was making for myself after drowning was that I can't go to the deep end because I can't save myself. Even when I stand, my nose is not above water. So until I learn enough skills to be able to save myself, I will not go to the deep end. That was just an excuse. Because what I realized, this ring is everywhere. I can just swim along the edge. When I run out of breath or in case of anything, I can just hold on to the bar and pull myself. But I couldn't realize that until I was bold enough to try and go back to the same place that almost destroyed me. Why am I bringing this up? It's to show you how much we misconstrue something we've not experienced. You know one thing about a person, and it's that they are an introvert. But then you naturally tell yourself, they must be a terrible person. They're proud. Kona kiburi, anajionanga. And that's why people willingly submit to the matrix. Now, the matrix has many definitions. You can talk about how the world powers have social engineered a whole universe for us, that there's a lot more that these people know that we don't, and all the other conspiracy theories about NASA, about religion, about whatnot. You can talk about that. The matrix can also be something as simple as your school, or where you work, or your family. Anywhere where there's a community of people, that community of people can easily be part of a matrix or create their own mini matrix. That's where you come in as a disruptor. It's only rebels that are bold enough to walk through uncharted waters or to explore uncharted paths.
It almost sounds like you come to birth a new system.
Yes.
To create a new way.
A new way, yes.
And that others can then come in after you.
Yes. You're correct.
There's some very interesting pieces that your life is having. Even you understanding your name is a form of understanding your identity.
Yes.
And a form of acceptance of who you are.
Yes.
Because rebellion means against the grain.
Yeah.
Against the grain means everybody's walking this way.
You walk opposite.
And it's just constant backing. Yeah. It almost feels like a constant fight.
Yeah. Everyone is stuck in the matrix.
Yes.
And they're doing things the same way. And then you show up.
And you do this.
Yeah.
Fuck you, who could?
Mic check 1 2 1 2.